but I just wanted to come on here real quick. I just finished a workout. It is humid out here in Charlotte, and it's been raining like cats and dogs. And so I didn't want to take a chance to walk outside. So I decided to go down to the gym, and I'm glad I did. And it's so easy to say no. It is so easy to say no. Saying no takes no effort, takes no thought. And once you say it, it's no, and you just move on to the next. But when you commit and say yes, you're saying yes to a lot of things. You're saying yes that, you know what, I'm going to get up and go. You're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to the possibilities of it all. And I'm glad I said yes this evening. And I see TWP Popcorn popped in. How are you doing? Oh, listen, I'm only on here for a few minutes. Well, it's probably going to be longer. And I haven't been live in this way in a while. So I definitely wanted to tap in and see how everyone is doing. I am Coach Sherri. This channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. And I'm looking kind of like I've been through it because I was working out. I did the elliptical machine today, and I love that machine. I've been doing the elliptical probably, oh, I know, over 25 years. And it's a really good, I'm buffering. Uh, Let me see. I don't know how to not buffer. Hold on. Let me know if I'm still buffering. I see loving myself. Thanks for letting me know. That's why sometimes going live, it can be a little shaky depending on where you are and how the internet service is. I've been noticing here lately that my internet service on my phone, my carrier is AT&T, and T, and I've been having challenges and I'm not understanding. The event that I went to on Saturday, I had no internet service in the building and everyone else did. So I was asking them, who's your carrier? So people were telling me Verizon, T-Mobile. So I definitely looked into it, and I'm going to have to make that change because the buffering piece is not cool. I feel like there should be enough towers out here that, you know, no one should ever have to buffer. But I guess AT&T is not the place to be, and I need to move on to something else. I'm glad everyone is speaking to each other. And I just wanted to tell you, a great way to start a Monday is to do something that you know you need to do something that you know you want to do, that you should do, and doing it. Even if you feel like, I just need to go home, I just need to chill for a moment, but it doesn't take but a moment to do what you were probably setting out to do. And it's good to see you too, Conscious Business Services and Opportunities. It's always good to see you, Charlene. How are you? How's everything going? OG Brand is here. What is going on? You're silly. I hope you saw Tom and Jerry today. I definitely didn't, but that was my cartoon back in the day. It was. Um, you guys, OG Brand is cool. He really is cool like that. But it's good to see everyone here. I see RJ Sandifer is here. Hello to you. I'm doing well. It's good to see you. So, I had started a new medication therapy for, my heart issue. And y'all, it is making me so dehydrated. I am craving water so much, and I drink a lot of water. I'm not sure, like why it's doing that, but it's definitely I'm feeling like it's making me more dehydrated. And on the inside, I feel like you ever have tug of war when, both teams are almost equally strong. And so you're pulling and pulling and they're pulling, but it's really not going anywhere. I kind of feel like that inside, like something like I'm pulling, I'm struggling to be, like out there how I am. And the medicine is pulling to try to help me calm down. And so I have to really contain myself um and practice or be more mindful of just chilling and calming down for sure. So I'm glad everyone is speaking. Yes, everyone in the chat is cool. They are here. OG, let me moderate you. Hold on. All right. So, how has everyone's Monday been? It seemed like it has been raining here, and I feel like it's coming from the deeper South. I know that DT Hope, he's a content creator who stays in my favorite part of America. My favorite city, oh my goodness, the most beautiful beach in America, and that's Destin, Florida. And he was saying how it was raining really hard over the weekend, and I feel like we're getting that rain coming up this way. And it's interesting how that works because the weekend before last, every place around the country it seemed like it was raining at the same time. Oh, good. It's beautiful and sunny where you are, Charlene. Not here so much. It's. I guess we needed it. It's not for us to judge or complain about for sure. Oh, I see TLUC is in the building too. Thank you for coming in. Wow, there is nothing like Florida. I love it. Okay, hold on. There you are. Okay. Yes, Florida is a beautiful state. I know they've had some challenges, but listen, it's still in the United States. And as long as it is, I'm going to take advantage of the beauty. I really love Destin, Florida. It is my favorite beach. That whole area, the Emerald Coast, the Gulf Coast, the Gulf Shores. It's so beautiful there. Yes. Oh, gee, you're gonna have people thinking that I have stepchildren for real. Listen, my husband did not have children when I met him when we got married, since we've been married, and that was definitely a criteria because we met at such an early age, 22 and 23 years old. So I was really like, do you have children? And he said no, but I was just like, because I knew I wasn't ready to be a stepmother, especially at that age. Shout out to the stepmothers, and I hope everyone had a wonderful day yesterday. I did just kind of, relax and, just love on my children, have them love on me, and just appreciate, being a mother because it's nothing that any one of us should take for granted for sure. Life is fleeting at best, and there's ebbs and flows, and there's a lot of different challenges, especially as a woman, that we go through being a mother, staying a mother, and everything. So I just wanted to just definitely reflect on just the blessings that children bring. Coach Mean Reen is in the building. Listen, I saw your video this morning, and the fact that you worked out yesterday encouraged me to work out today. I was like, goodness. I had, so many things. I was trying to get up and down all day so I could move. And then I said, I need to work out because I'm not going to walk since the weather is so challenging. And I thought about you and talking about how you worked out yesterday. And I said, if Coach Mean Reen could do it, I can do it too. Y'all, if y'all are not tapped into each other, first of all, but definitely to Coach Mean Reen. I know a lot of people, men and women, are on living healthy. They're on that track, they're on that train, and they're trying to do it. And this is the thing, you know, it took a long time to get like this. It took a long time to get where you're at. So it's going to take even more work and more time to get where you want to be. And it's not about necessarily losing weight, it's about being in shape and being in good health, being able to move, being able to stand up without making noise. What? Without saying the ugh, and the sitting down without saying the ugh when you sit down. It's about remaining flexible no matter what age you are. And sometimes, we all think we could do it on our own, but sometimes, most times, you need that support, that accountability partner, that one go-to person that you know is going to be there, that sure shot. You may not always be there, but they will always be there waiting on you, but still moving forward. And I feel like Coach Mean Reen is that type of coach. She is a fitness coach, and she's a real bodied fitness coach. I remember when my son, when he opted out of playing football in college, and my husband told him, you can't keep that weight on you. And so he started working out differently, eating differently, and he lost over 100 pounds. But you would think, like, Coach Sherry, well, dag on it. How big was he if he, was able to lose 100 pounds and still be a good sized man? Well, he was weighing close to, probably like closer to 300 than anything. He was almost 300. He was, 17 years old when he graduated from high school. He lost 100 pounds right before he started college. I want to say he was like definitely on that path. And the thing is, he was husky his whole entire life. He was always a thick little boy. That's just, In the nature of things, my husband's a big man, my father, my brothers, my father-in-law. So we always surrounded by big men. So it wasn't uncommon for him to be a big young man. But, not being as active, my husband was like, you just can't carry that. That's not healthy. And so he is active though. He works out every day. He eats right, real clean. And wow, it's been like 8 years, 8, 9 years, 8 years at least since he's graduated from high school, and he's kept it off. He went from a 2XL to a medium large. He went from a 44-inch waist to a 34-inch waist. He's 6'3", 6'4", and just lean. And every time I see him, I'm always shocked. But I told him, I was like, your story, your journey would be very inspiring to people because there's just, think about it. A lot of people that are into fitness, they always been fit. They've always been willowy, thin, whatever. Um, and they never understood the struggle that, um, people who are heavier or thicker may have had. And also to the image of it being fit just to be thin and willowy, that's a myth too. So just to have a real person that can understand those challenges that you may encounter, those taps on the shoulder, those inside voices that you may hear, in the midnight hour telling you to go into the refrigerator. Maybe they fought through that and they can tell you how they got through it. Not, oh, just get through it, you'll be fine. That's just like a teacher or a professor in college or even in high school, whatever, or even a certification, a class that you may take. I trust a person that's been through it more than a person that just read it in a book. I really prefer someone that's more practical than just theory, because there's so many people that are theory based. Oh, this is what the study says. This is what they say you should do. This is how you should look. But what about the practical? The practical is the here and now, the today, to understand that we all are built different. We all are, different types of people. We have different experiences, and it's all about having that special relationship with food, just like having that relationship with your money. Every part of your life, you should have a different type of relationship, understanding of what's the root cause, like why am I out of control? What's really going on? Thinking about when is it that you pick up that piece of chocolate, or what makes you not want to work out? Why isn't that just something you do? Like my son, it's a no. My son, my husband, even my daughters, they not working out is not an option. They're going to fit it in some kind of way, do something to, keep their body moving. And you would think that that would encourage me to do it more, but it had to hit me different. And again, I'm doing it for my future self. And just, I'm trying to tell y'all, tapping into that knowledge that everything, the way I'm living, how I'm being is for my future self. It keeps me motivated too, because I was thinking about that even as I was like, should I go and work out in the gym? Now the gym is right in the basement of my building. It's not even like I have to drive anywhere to get to it. I just get out of my office, go change my clothes, and I'm right there at it. And so I was like, wow, Coach Mean Reen worked out yesterday. She stuck with it. My future self would thank me for this. It would say, you know what? I'm glad that you did it anyway. I'm glad that you realized that, yeah, you're going to do it, but it's going to be over. It's just like when I have clients that are going back to school and they are like, oh my goodness, I haven't been in school for so long. It's going to be so challenging, boom, boom, boom. And yeah, it probably will at first, right? But guess what? That semester is going to be over in 4, 6, 8 weeks. That class is going to be over, in a couple of sessions. That workout is going to be over in 30, 45 minutes. If you can't dedicate that time for yourself, and then you think about all the other nonsensical things that you may put up with, yo, we got to do better. We just have to do better. Super Chat Connect and Grow walked in. Hello. Oh, and I see Kendi K all day is here too. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that you all are here. I'm just talking, um, just here to catch up with you, to motivate, hopefully motivate someone for the Monday. You know what? A few weeks ago, I was a host for, and I put together a conference. It was not nationwide, a statewide conference. It was a pretty big deal. And for that conference, I developed a blueprint for the attendees. I see Ellie's Endeavors. Hello, how are you? Is it Ellie's or L's? I want to say Ellie's Endeavors. I like that name. Beautiful. Queen's Alchemy is in the building. Hello to you. So listen, a few weeks ago, I had, put together a statewide conference, and um, I developed and put together a blueprint for just a blueprint so that for what the conference was, I wanted the attendees to leave with something tangible. I wanted them to leave with action steps, things that they can take back to their teams and say, listen, this is how they're doing it over here. These are the easy steps to get started, whatever. And I just felt like that was very important. That was something that I had really thought about for years in real life. I just had it all in my head, and that conference encouraged me. It pushed me to put it together quicker than I should have been had it done, but it was always just resting in my head. And so I put it, put pen to paper, got it done, and it turned out really, really good. It's about 15 pages, right? So that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And here lately, I've been hearing the word blueprint everywhere. You know, the the Fearless Women Summit that I went to on Saturday, they talked about the blueprint. I was listening to a podcast today, they were talking about the blueprint. And even with the collective, a couple of weeks ago, Queen's Alchemy had myself, Coach Mean Reen, rooted in essential oils, Mind Journey, and herself on a panel. I feel like it was one more too. It was. That's why I hate starting to call out names because I forget to say everyone. But um, she called it the collective, and the place where the summit was on Saturday was called the collective. I've been hearing the collective used here lately too, and words mean things, they mean something. And when you start to hear words, resurrect or come up, um, you got to think about it and wonder, like, what does this really all mean? And what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? But that blueprint was deep because I keep hearing it all the time. One of the speakers on Saturday were phenomenal. They were all women, different genres, talked about things that were very impactful. Some things I already knew, absolutely. But then there was those aha moments. And one of them talked about awesomeness and reclaiming your awesomeness, not standing in the shadows, not standing on the sidelines, but reclaiming your awesomeness. We always are encouraging everyone to be awesome around us. We want you to be awesome. You're going to be awesome. You can do it. Go ahead. The biggest cheerleaders, the biggest supporters, especially if you are a wife, if you are a mother, if you are a dear friend, if you're that one that people come to because you just give them that encouragement that they always need to get started. And then you don't have that for yourself. Like you look to the left and to the right, and where's what, when, who's giving you that encouragement? And so you have to sometimes just do it for yourself and know that you don't just deserve to be on the sideline. You're part of that team. You are a starter. So get out there on that field, get out there on that court and do your thing and let yourself know, yes, I belong here. I was built for this. She was talking, one of them, and I'm getting them all mixed up. It was a lot of great speakers, and all their stuff just kind of ebbed and flowed for me. But the helm, who's at the helm? Because one of them was saying that leadership is more than a title. It's an action. It's who you are. It's what you do. So the helm wasn't given to me. I was built for it. The helm was not given to you. No one gave you that title. No one gave you that crown. You were built for that. You were developed for that. You were groomed for that. That's who you are. And that's how you have to move. So many people wait until they receive that title to act as if, but you have to act as if anyway, because that's what you were built for. Now, if you wasn't built for it, that might be another thing. But as we continue to grow, as we share wisdom with the people coming behind us, we have to let them know you're not just true to this. You were built for this. You were designed for this. You deserve this. So what? You may not have that director title, that president, CEO, CFO, COO, title, whatever, but you move like you do. Move like you do. And I promise you, it will be. But if you just say, "Oh, I was passed over. Oh, that's for them over there. I will never get that chance. I will never, is he gonna walk into my car? Hold on. Wow. He almost locked my door. Let me lock it. But if you continuously wait for the coach to say, "All right, come into the game," you'll never get in the game. If you think that the game is where you're gonna shine, you think the game is when you're gonna, get the ball, make I'm gonna bust my move at the game. I'm gonna show them when I get into the game. And at practice, you just being subpar because you think you holding something back. Like, you want things to be a secret. You don't want to tell nobody. Oh no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait to the game. You might not get into the game. So you need to practice and do it in practice so that they can see that you can be that one for the game. If you don't show up for practice, they're not going to let you do it in the game. They're going to tell them, they might put you in, but they're not going to tell them to pass you the ball because they don't know what you're capable of. So whatever position, whatever opportunity you think you deserve, don't wait till you get it to show them what you can do. Do it now. I have people that always tell me, clients and stuff that will be like, they just don't listen. They won't listen. I have ideas and they just won't listen because they can't hear you. So you know what you do? You put it down on pen and paper. You put it down, you make a business plan, and you present it. They still may not hear you, but they can read. And one day it's gonna go across the right desk. And then they'll be like, well, who wrote this? Whose idea was this? It was your idea. I remember one person told me before a while ago, dress like your next position. Dress like your next position. You don't have to wait to be great. You don't have to wait to be great. You could be great right now because you were built for this. Yeah, there are people that are given the helm. There are people, yeah, I know. A lot of people get mad at that. Like, yo, they didn't deserve it. I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. That happens every day, everywhere. I can't believe that they put them in. I can't believe they drafted that player. That happens every day, everywhere. When that happens, and if that happens to you where someone's given the helm and you were built for it and you know you were built for it, what do you do? Do you sit there and complain? Do you um, pause? Do you become paralyzed? Or do you do what you do unapologetically? And another person had said, and I love it because this is how I move. I ask for forgiveness and not permission. So many people want to ask for permission. You think I can do this? You know what? I was thinking I want to do this. I want to do that. Um, yeah, I think this will be a good idea. And the person you telling are like, oh, okay. Now I know I gave the example of when people aren't hearing you, but when you are just at the real close to the helm that was given to that person, they need to hear your ideas because they don't have any because it was given to them. They don't know. So you give it to them thinking, yeah, I gave them that idea because I want to do that. I think that's going to be great. And then they go and tell the powers that be as if it's their idea, their original idea. And they may or may not let it happen. But guess what? It came from them. So you just do it. But if you asking for permission, listen, some people ask for permission because they want to be seen. Oh, yeah, I'm going to talk it over with blah, blah, blah. So that, know that I'm smart. They know that I'm this or that. No, just do it. As long as you know it's legal, compliant, and needed, just do it. Because first of all, in some areas, in some places, you you might have to go through so many channels before you can even get the beginning of it done, or before you can even receive whatever you need to have it done. I remember there was a machine that really helped my husband's legs when he played, and it was a huge industrial strength machine. Like, I've never to this moment ever seen anything like it, and it helped him to be more explosive. And one of the teams had it. He didn't ask the team if he could buy it, like if he could get one. Who you gonna ask? He was built for this. He went and found a manufacturer and got one made and delivered to our house. Like, you don't have to ask for permission. A lot of times people think everything is so secret. Oh no, you can't have one of those. He wanted one for the house because he wanted to use it more often than just being at the gym, and he didn't want to be at the facility because he wanted to be at the house with the family, but he still needed to work out, and so he got one for the house. Get what you need, know what you need, and get it. That's the problem. So many people don't really know what they need. That's why when, clients say they are mad because they, think they deserve to be supervisor, manager, director, or whatever, because they've been with the company that they're with X amount of years. They have this credential, this experience, and, they just don't understand how people are getting promoted all around them and they're overlooked or whatever. I always say, well, when you get that position, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What's your plan? Because when you built for the helm, you know your plan. You already know. So always be prepared, because when you get to certain levels, they're not gonna want to tell you what to do. You're gonna have to know what needs to be done. So you have to prepare your mind, your body, your soul, everything right now. And that's another reason why, you know, working out, and I feel like, I mean, there's so many, and I'm gonna just say women because I'm a woman, but there's so many women over 40, over 50 trying to get it in, trying to be in the best shape of their lives, trying to work out and be good. I'm not exactly sure what the memo was, that they received, but I know for me, I'm trying to live healthy. I'm not trying to live struggling, health wise. There's things that I'm doing in my life that is going to require me to be in good shape. And I'm not saying I'm in no boxing ring or anything like that. So many people think that unless you're doing something that's like physically laborious, that you don't have to be strong. You have to be strong mentally. If you're an innovative, if you're a creative, if you're doing things that's changing the world, if you're a catalyst for change, your body, your physical being has to be in shape to handle what's to come. Because you're going to be on platforms that are going to surpass your wildest dreams. You're going to be in arenas that's going to require you the strength to communicate with people from all over the world. You're going to be on platforms where, y- your image is going to be, plastered on screens, and you want to look halfway decent. I know I do. That's my vision for me. I see it. God gave it to me years ago. Years, 15 years ago. I remember I was doing my teaching fellowship, and the director of the program was like, Sherry, what do you want to do after this? I said, I'm gonna be on stage. He was like, what? I didn't even know. Listen, sometimes, you have to live out loud. You have to be fearless. That's why that summit, Fearless Women's Summit on Saturday, was so powerful to me, because, yes, I live fearlessly. You have to live fearlessly, not being afraid to say what you know is in your spirit, what you were built for, what you were born for, what you were bred for, what you were groomed for. And it'll slip out, and it's not even something you ever thought about, but it just slips out. And you be like, wait, why? 'Cause I don't listen, up to that point, I've done remarkable things. When I did my teaching fellowship, I had already developed a real estate property, a community. I was already a real estate investor. I I already lived in multiple cities, major cities, not no rinky dink in the cut, no, major cities. My husband had already retired from playing in the NFL for 10 years. My experiences were beyond the average person, but I never thought that I would be on stage. Like, that was not one of my desires that I thought. But when I was asked that question, it just came out. Sherry, so what are you gonna do after this, this fellowship is over? I'm gonna be on stage. Yeah. What? What are you gonna be doing on stage? I don't know. I'm just gonna be on stage speaking to thousands of people. That's so wild to me. Mm. Marlene motivates. Hello to you. Oh, and good morning. Well, it's evening here, Japan. I wish I could read your name. Sh- I say the ch chai, shy without the I. Welcome in. And Monique is in the building too. Hello to you. Let me okay, hold on for 1 second. All right. Good to see you, Monique. Leadership is more than a title, Ellie's endeavors. It is. And so many people get caught up in the title. Oh, I'm such and such. I'm this, I'm that. You know what? When I'm doing speaking engagements, I forget to even say my name sometimes. Like, I'm introduced or whatever, but some people might reintroduce themselves or whatever, and I'll just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm Sherry Jones." Oh, I said my last name doesn't matter. So crazy. I'm Sherry. I don't even say my title a lot of times anymore. It don't matter because I'm sleeves rolled up. I'm right here with you. You know. I'm so wild. All right. Yes, a lot of people will do that, L. A lot of people will present your stuff as if it's theirs. Cosmic Sprout, hello to you. Allison Map, hello. It's good to see you. I don't think I've ever met you before, so nice to meet you. East Dad is in the building. Good afternoon, good evening to you. It's good to see everyone is speaking. You're welcome, Monique. So, yeah, and next thing I know, I'm always on stage somewhere speaking about a lot of things that was put in my spirit. So, for yourself, embrace your awesomeness. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Don't just stand in the shadows. Don't just be in the kitchen. You deserve a seat at the table. And my executive coach actually has that whole line. I don't know if you've seen it. She's on LinkedIn as well and Instagram, but I deserve a seat at the table, in the room, in the building. I deserve a seat. I deserve to be there. You deserve to be there. And yeah, continue to encourage the ones in your circle to do their best because you don't want to be the best out of the best. You want everyone to be the best, but if they're not, you need to find another circle to do the certain things that you're doing, um, so that they can be good too. And that's why when I do training, especially when I do essential skills training, talking about effective communication, how to handle feedback, you know, um, financial literacy, just things that's going to make a person good for the workplace, but also good for themselves. I always tell them, don't just keep this information to yourself. Share it with your family and friends because Yes, you're going to improve, but you want the ones you love to improve too. If I'm teaching you how to be an active listener, an effective communicator, yeah, that's going to help you on your job, that's going to help you in your business. But guess what? You need to do that at home. You need to be across your family and loved ones across the table having great conversations. That's why I tell parents, they always like, "Oh, our children, they don't talk. They don't like to talk or whatever." What you mean they don't like to talk? Yeah, when I ask them how their day was after school, they just be like fine or good or bad, just like one word. I said, you have to ask them open-ended questions. That's why. That's a ridiculous question. How was your day? What? What does that even mean? Do you know how varied my day is? That's like when people say to me, I want to job shadow you. What day? I do something different every day. How was your day? I don't which part of the day? What, had a good lunch? I made some great connection. I mean, what part of the day? So ask open-ended questions. So when our children were younger and we would pick them up from school, starting in elementary school, early, kindergarten, first, second, third grade, I would say, what was the funniest thing that happened today? What made you laugh so hard today? Because little kids gonna laugh. And so they would think, and so what would happen throughout their day, they would always try to remember the things that made them laugh because they knew I was going to ask that question. And then we would talk, and then that would just continue the conversation. Because then I would tell them something that happened funny to me because I'm always looking for something to laugh about. Always. Laughter is good for the soul. It is. Thank you, East Staff, for stopping in. I hope you're having a great evening and at work. Be safe. Stay safe. Yes. Sneaks out. Eastat backs out, moonwalks out like Michael Jackson. Yes, open-ended questions. And then parents get mad, like, what you want your child to say? How was school? School was ABC 1, 2, 3. School was the teacher talking to us. School was me not being able to sit next to my best friend so I can cut up. School was lunch was awful. I mean, what do you want them to say? Yeah. So being an effective communicator is important whether you're at work or in your family around your friends. Being a active listener. So you're not just playing double dutch when people are talking to you, just waiting to jump in. You are listening to hear what they're saying and letting them complete their sentence, not just breaking through. And I know how it can be, especially when it's a bunch of y'all. I'm thinking about my line sisters and I, everybody's talking at the same time. That's different. I'm talking about when you having real conversations. Because even when you are with those groups of people that are kindred spirits, like your line sisters, line brothers, whatever the case may be, your siblings, your immediate family, there'll be times, everybody's talking, but then there's those real moments when you're having those deep conversations and someone is talking, pouring themselves out, talking about a situation. You may have had experience in it, but so what? Let them tell their side. Let them tell their experience. Let them get it out. Let them have that moment. That is so crazy to me. And it's been more noticeable, I think, since COVID happened, where people don't listen. You think about virtual meetings, and it is real obvious in virtual meetings when people are cutting other people off. It's like, dang, hold on. Like, can I finish? Can you raise your hand, please? There is an emoji for that. Don't just jump in. This could be a very nice, peaceable conversation. Everyone will have a chance to share, but this person is talking right now. It's getting better, I think, or at least in my meetings. If people say, I know a lot of times people used to jump in like that because they had to go. I have another meeting backed up to this, boom, boom. Okay, well, you could just write what you were going to say in the chat and we'll get to that. And this is recorded, so you'll be able to see, or hear the responses to it. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Charlene, Conscious Business Services and Opportunities. I'm telling you, everyone here are so dope. And I see Doug Bloom walked in. Hello to you. Thank you for coming in. I hope you all are capturing each other and checking each other out, but in a good way. Not just oh yeah, you jumped in and stopped by, but like really authentically looking at a video and seeing who everyone is. That's a really good thing. That's how we grow as a community. Just like with networking, last Saturday at the event, um, they had a lot of networking opportunities and they really wanted people to connect. And they had a bingo game. They gave you the card game at the beginning. So I met a dear friend there. It was hard for us at first because we hadn't seen each other in so long and we just wanted to catch up in person. You could talk to someone on the phone, but when you really catch up with them in person, it just hits different. So we probably were bad examples, especially in the beginning, because we was just huddled up talking like blah, 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 really good stuff, just great conversation, great thoughts, information, things to move forward with. It was great. But that's what YouTube is. It's networking. So when you see people and there's a lot of great people in here. The ones that don't have the black wrench, I don't know you that well. I hope that you can go back and maybe comment on another video of mine so I can reach back to you as well. And so that way we can get to know each other. That's one way. Um, but it's about that. It's about hitting that like button, like Conscious Business and Services had said. It's about saying hello to each other in the chat as you walk in. Those are like, I guess, YouTube etiquettes, YouTube networking etiquettes, that are really important, especially if you are a content creator or just a supporter of content creators. That's just a way to stay connected. Marlene Motivates in the building. Just some really, really good people here. And I'm just really honored that you could have been anywhere on this Monday night. I didn't even know what to name this live. I just said, I'm going to go live. This has been, part of my plan was to do my lives in the evening. I had started doing them in the morning, but y'all keep me on here in the morning. And I usually have meetings or just something that I'm going to. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes and I'll look and it'll be like an hour later. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Now I'm off to the races. So to keep myself calm and relaxed, I said, I'm going to do like a pre-recorded in the morning or short, and then in the evenings come live. But the weekends for me are so varied until it's hard for me to keep up with that type of schedule. But with the weather breaking and everything, it's been a little easier. Um, I see Trunks is here. Who made my face? My parents, my mother and father. I look like both of them. Thank you. I look like both my mom and my dad. And today is my father's 87th birthday. Happy birthday to him. Shout out. I asked him, I said, so how does it feel? Like, do you feel older? He said, no, I feel the same as I did when I was 86. He said, you really don't start to notice your age in like every 5 years, you start to notice a little different. And I think he's right. It's I think he's right. Uh-oh, I think my earpods are the batteries are down. Can you still hear me? I hope you all can still let me know if you can hear me, if you put a thumbs up in the chat if you can still hear me. My my earpods went out. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Monique. Thank you. Yeah, so he's 87. If he was still alive, she would be 85. And that's a beautiful life. That's a beautiful life. So many things that they have seen and experienced. So it's good. And he still is. He's still, living his life. He was telling me that he went to his friends, he's gonna make them into shorts. And I'm like, that's so dope, to be 87 and still trying to be fashionable and just, being sustainable at the same time, instead of buying new shorts. He said, I'm just gonna take some pants I have and I took them to a lady and she's gonna, change them and make them into shorts. I was like, all right, that's so good. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Allison. Happy birthday to him. Yes. Yes. So everyone. I hope that you have an enjoyable rest of your Monday night. Because this evening here it's about 7:30, and I will be back tomorrow, and I'm gonna share more about what I learned or heard at that Fearless Women Summit. um, it definitely inspired me to do some things differently or the same. You know, sometimes you hear and you're like, you know what, I'm doing that. That's about right. But I hope that what I did share with you today is encouraging you and hopefully will transform the way that you do your things with your life and the way you look at yourself and be your own biggest cheerleader too, so that you're not left on the sidelines. All right, you're welcome, Monique. Everyone, have a great evening and be safe, especially East Dad. If you still have me on in the backgrounds, continue to stay safe. And remember, every day, practice so hard so that when you get in, you will always play to win. I am Coach Sherri.